Welcome back, episode 6. Join me. Let's see about putting this thing back together again. Welcome back, episode 6. Can you believe it? Right, let me swing it down here to the table and let's have a look at what's arrived. Now this is the fun bit in the build because this is all the put back together with the nice, clean, shiny stuff. So there we go. Wheel rims are looking fantastic. The frame, you had a brief glimpse at it last episode. That's looking excellent. Well chuffed with that. And we've got the fork legs back. They're okay. Lovely and shiny. We've got the hubs. So they're there. We've got new bearings. Going to be putting those to the headstock up into there. And we've got one fork leg. The other fork leg's been sent off to be re-chromed, so I can put that one into one of the fork leg bottoms there. Get that rebuilt. I'll just move you around to the shelf. I'll just show you around here. It's another pile of bits. So they're looking pretty good. New nuts and bolts. We're going to have a discussion about nuts and bolts and threads later, because that's a bit of a pain. We've got a new horn that's arrived. The other one was just completely rusty. New rear back brake light switch. So you've got the chain guard there looking good. You've seen the two-stroke bottle. There's the new brake caliper I said that was coming. Hopefully that will work. We shall try that. Headlights around. You've seen the back of the clocks there. That's the inner mudguard that goes into the back of the metal one. Stops mud flinging up to the back of the engine. Side stand and all the bits and pieces anyway. So anyway, that's the clean shelf. I'm going to have to transfer some of this stuff off here onto there so we can clear some space. So let's start. Of course, I've got the inevitable builder's cup of tea. Got to have that. And anyway, clear some space and let's get stuck in. Yeah, let's have a look how this goes. If we're going to remember, this is the bit now where you try to remember everything you've done. So just going to hold it up, slide that through. And hopefully get it through. Okay, that bit's on. So stick a washer on there. I'm just going to put the nut on just loosely for now. I've got to bolt the exhaust to that anyway. If you guys do start doing your restorations, you've got this Haynes manual which covers everything in here basically. And as you can see from there, you've got an exploded view of all the bits and pieces. And we're going to be looking at this rear shock now, and this takes quite a few washers to pack out some spacing. You'll see in a minute. So but no, excellent reference point. Get yourself one of these. So let's get the shock absorbers done. Remember these old springs here that we took off the bike a few weeks back? So say goodbye to those and say hello to the new ones. Got those. That's more like it. So let's get these bolted on. So the book says 3 washers in there to pack it because it's got a bit of a wide spacing there, I suppose, for the shock absorber to sit on. If it was too far, you'd get the edge of it there. So they say 3 of those. So 3 washers. That on, and then we're going to pop a spring nut washer on there, sorry, and basically do that up. Then we're going to lift the back of the swing arm up. Offer that onto there, and on the back, no washers on the back of this apart from a locking washer and the nut. So let's get that on, and that is basically, without doing it up, I'm just going to do these finger tight for now, and I'm going to start on the other side. On this side, 3 washers, shock absorber, raise it onto there. It popping that in. That's it. slot washer, dome nut, spring washer, dome nut, hang on, right size spring washer, loads of washers, different sizes. Is that the right size? No, that's the right size. There we go. Okay, so rear shocks are on. Okay, it wants to sit that way, we'll let it sit that way. There. Now let's concentrate on the front of the bike. Put a bit of grease around on there. Now we're going to pack a load in here. Let's give these ball bearings a bit of a coating. Nice dirty job there. Let's give them a bit of greasing up there. Drop that in there. And a bit more grease on the top. Okay, good, that's that one. And we're going to offer it up, get some grease on the top one. Pack that in. Get some grease into there. I've done the bearings already. Which way around is these damn things? That is right. Oh, stay. Pack some more in there. Okay, so the plan is this bit now goes into there, pops up through there, bearings are on there, put a bit of grease onto that bottom bearing carrier. Oh, try and do it all with one end. Goes onto there. Just give me fingers of wipe. Dust cover goes on. And then that bit screws onto there. Okay, there is a special tool that you can get which is a half moon shape and it fits around this bit, tightens it up. I've just improvised and used a pair of mold grips. But basically just do it up so not to pinch the bearings. Free play in there, so that's lovely jubbly. There's no movement in that. There we go. Headstock bearings in. Okay, now this is all done up how we want it to. We're going to screw the top part, this plate on top, which is the way the forks come up through there, and the handlebars go on top of this plate. So we're going to screw that on. We don't want to do it up too tight to start with because we've got to get the forks lined up. So these two have got to line up there for the forks to go through. So I'm going to do it up nearly all the way. That'll do. That's that. And we've got to put this bracket on. Now this bracket holds the clocks, the speedo and the rev counter. So that has got to be bolted onto there. So I've got a couple of new stainless steel bolts there, and I'll stick those onto there. One. Two. Let's do these up. That's for the clocks to sit on. So with that, this is where the handlebar clamps go on. So we're going to put those on there. Bolt some of these in. Again, there's no point in me whopping these up tight. The handlebars have got to go and order some. The ones that came off it are weigh about 10 ton. Horrible chrome things. well, rusty chrome thing, should I say. So obviously we don't want those. I'm going to get some black alloy ones, the same diameter, same shape. So after this I'm going to get on the good old eBay. Okay, and that is basically it for now. So that's the top. I'm just going to bring it back in there. So there we have it. It's a bit hard to see with the bike frames, bicycle frames behind. Anyway, so that's the that's all ready for the forks to go in. You've then got these brackets here, which then go through the fork legs and obviously hold the headlight on. But I'm waiting for some rubbers, some new rubbers there to come in, and obviously waiting for the fork to come back from the engineering company that's going to be re-chroming them. So anyway, that's the front, all sorted. Right, the oil tank, the two-stroke oil tank. So obviously we've cleaned up. We're going to stick that one back in. Easy enough this is. I'm replacing all the bolts, well, a lot of them, about 90% of these nuts and bolts are going to be stainless steel, just because obviously, you know, they're not going to rust in the future. So that's that on that one. So that's the plan. Again, at this stage I'm only going to put it in finger tight, just in case I have to take something apart. Just do that one up a bit. There we go. Right, so that's the oil tank in it. Right, now the shiny rear mudguard. Let's get this into place without wrecking everything. Yeah, just get a bolt in to hold it there, and a bit of a faff around. That's got to go. Let's get another bolt in the other side for anywhere near it. Okay, let's just put a couple of nuts on there just to stop it from popping out. Let's get these stainless bolts in, screws into the frame, and then straight through. There we go, just to put a nut on the underside. Okay, back mudguard's on. It's all fastened up there. Stainless steel nuts and bolts. Got the rear shocks on now, and got the oil tank on. Got this battery holder which goes into there. But I'm waiting for a rubber for this side of the mount. Special fat rubber with a small metal grommet in the middle, and that's where the earth is used on the bike, on that position there. So that's in there. Obviously got the headstock on. Got a couple of nuts there, bolts, sorry, for the horn fixing. But no, so quite chuffed at that. So that's starting to take shape. Okay, remember the last episode I showed you the reflector for the obviously for the headlamp, and obviously the state it was in. So look, we've got a new one, brand new one, and that's gonna look pretty good. Right, I wanted to have a word with you about threads, and I mentioned it earlier about a different kind of threads. What I found with this is an M12 thread, so it's 12 mil basically, and these are lock nuts. So that one goes on fine all the way up to the nylon before it starts biting. So that's an M12 nylock, but that also is an M12 nylock, and that one, that's as far as it goes on. And because the thickness of the actual thread, we call it a pitch, and you've got to keep an eye on that, because when you're ordering these bolts and nuts and everything, it's just to make sure the pitch is the same. Now, you've got a little gauge here that comes with this tap and die set that I've got, and you basically hold it onto the thread, and it will actually, you can measure the actual size of the thread. Then obviously when you go on and order your bolts or your nuts, whatever, you can make sure you've got the right one. Now this is a 1.25, which is a fine thread. The one that won't go on is a 1.5. So see, that's no good. So I had to make sure that these are 1.25s that go on. So threads, just check your threads, make sure you get hold of a pitch finder, and just make sure, because they're not all the same. It's a bit of a pain. A lot of bolts on here are M8. You go down to M6s on a few of the smaller ones. M12, same on the back. It's to the spindles, M12, M10 on the front wheel, I think it is. But they're more or less, but then you've got different lengths of thread. Then you've got nuts, dome nuts, flange nuts, all sorts of nuts. Okay, so I think we've done pretty well in this episode. We've kind of, it's resembling a bike, shall we say. Quite chuffed with that. Got a few bits and pieces still to come in the post. I'm still waiting for the spokes. As soon as they arrive, I'm going to start rebuilding the wheels. Talking about the wheels, let me just show you these new tyres. Look at these bad boys. These are going to look great on the bike. So well chuffed with those. Nice and wide, plenty of grip on them. So they're going to look great. We're just going to keep going, basically, bits and pieces. So join me next time and see how the wheels go. I'll catch you again. It's pretty back together again. Here's my book, because I don't know what I'm doing. GoPro, stop recording. GoPro, stop recording. GoPro, stop recording. Grab hold of a socket.